So as you can see, the hanging baskets are doing pretty good. Now this side gets more shade, so the plants are a little bit slower growing than the ones that on this side, the strawberries and the other plants that get a lot of shade, a lot of sun. So they're doing well. That's the sunny side of it. As we look here, the cherry tomatoes are still doing well from March. They keep producing flowers, and so it might be time. They're not going to get too much higher than that, I'm sure, but I'll let them go until they stop, and then I'll replace them with some other tomato plants. Same with this guy here. This is more of a medium-sized tomato. There's a few tomatoes there, not so many flowers, but again, that heat throws them in dormancy. My poor sickly cucumber plant, not doing so well. I got some other smaller ones that I'll start off. Hopefully we'll get better cucumbers, but the heat kind of taking its toll on it. Of course, it's always basil, parsley, mint that kind of grows like a weed. Marigolds. I planted some more dill. We'll see if that dill can take off and withstand this heat too. The zucchini, it's the zucchini. It's growing, but it could be better. Here's another little pot of dill that I had. The other thing I was experimenting with here too is I had icicle radishes, and while they grew, they bolted really quick. I guess it's too hot. I can't do really those type of radishes here. And of course this one, I was going to put some onions there, some scallions, but instead I put in these two pots a little experiment, Chinese sorrel and amaranth, right? So I started them from seeds, and the seeds are so dang tiny. I put them in little pea containers and they kind of clump together. So I figured, well, let me at least just put them out here and we'll see what they do. But with things that are very tiny seeds, it's I gotta find a way to either make my own seed tape or spread them and thin them here, but try to do something a little bit better. Here is the Swiss chard that we cut once and it's growing back. That's good. Now the radishes that do seem to withstand the heat and are okay is the Chinese, the Korean, the big purple radishes. Now I've kind of got them spaced, so maybe they won't be as big as what they normally are, but they don't have to be. They can just be radish size or a little bit bigger than that. But they seem to be doing well. And the carrots here, the purple dragons, seem to be doing well too. As kind of an experiment. Let's take a look at what we've got over here. The roselle, this thing grows fast every day. It really loves the heat. Seems to really like the shade here too, this partial shade. So I'm growing these in containers and we'll see how they do. They should get big and produce the little roselles. I'm going to put the other ones in front, like I was saying. Then this big, the coffin, as the family kind of jokes about it, is growing with the Egyptian walking onions. So I ordered some, but I didn't order enough. And so they're starting to come up, as you can see on this side. And then I got some more in the mail and I planted them here. So this whole bed will be my Egyptian walking onions. Now some other things that I started with seed, and they seem to be doing pretty well in catching, is these ground cherries. Ground cherries look like little small yellow tomatillos, but they're sweet. So it's another little experiment. Let's see, I had a couple plants, I put them in here. I don't know if I'm overcrowding it or not, but we'll see what it does and see how it grows. So kind of the way we're looking at this here is, this whole side of the house gets definitely morning partial shade, but then by the afternoon, late afternoon, the sun kind of creeps over. So something that needs sun but yet some shade, I still have this whole row here that I can do stuff with. And just in case, I went ahead to extend my watering hose back out here so that I can hook up the connection. So this area here's got some potential. It's kind of a lower area, and if it rains a lot, it can accumulate water. So my best bet might be to put some bricks or something to raise it up off directly in the ground. Yeah, that's got some potential here for expansion. Of course, this flower garden here is wonderful. I mean, everything seems to grow, and it's expanding and getting so much bigger. The butterfly plants, the begonias, you know, everything. So we're all just surprised at how well this grew in the little container, and it crowds out some of the other littler plants. So we'll have to move some things around. But can you believe that? Look at the size of this, right? I mean, this thing grows and grows and grows. And if we look underneath, that's about a, I don't know, a 3-gallon container, and it's growing that big of a plant. Holy smokes. Now, the elephant ears are doing great. They're doing really good, except for this little guy. He's just a slow grower. I don't know what's going on there, but this one's doing good, as well as last year's doing good. They're not as big, but there's like 3 plants that started from, you know, just offshoots there. So I'm really afraid to move them right now in the season. Maybe at the end of the season I'll separate them out. I don't know. I don't want to break anything down there in the roots and disturb the whole thing. So I'll just kind of let them go. The cantaloupe, one little cantaloupe there, so far it hasn't been eaten. And then our neighbor's plant that was an indoor plant, I just stuck it in here and see how it grows. It's doing well. Another little elephant ears, seems to be getting bigger each time. And then the raspberries and blueberries. The good thing is they're not dying. They probably need to have some acidifier in the soil just to kick it off. It probably needs that. With all the rain we had here, these things tend to maybe wash out. But at least they're not dead. And then of course, as we look through the arches here, the roses and stuff like that, they're doing fine. You know, they love this partial shade, early morning sun, and they're all going pretty well here. In these little plastic buckets, again, they overgrow. These damn leaves overgrow and they're crowding everything out. So bigger pots next year for those guys, or put them in the ground or something. All right, so let's keep moving on the garden here. We'll add some more of our tour.